Hey guys, here to do another movie review. Sorry, I have a cold and my throat's sore, so if I sound funny or if I'm coughing or sniffling more than normal, that's why. I'm here to review the Satanic Rites of Dracula, also known as Dracula the Satanic Rites, also known as Dracula and His Vampire Bride. Now, this is a Hammer movie. If you don't know who Hammer is, first of all, shame on you, and second of all, Hammer was a British film studio, and they still make movies. Like, I think the most recent movie they made was The Woman in Black. They were famous for taking the old Universal monster movies and remaking them in color and a lot more gorier. Like, when I think of a Hammer, Dracula, or Frankenstein movie, I think of blood and guts. And there's nudity in these movies. I mean, for a movie made like in the 60s and the 70s, I am shocked at some of the stuff that they actually have in these movies. But out of all of them, I am really tied as to which series I like better, Frankenstein or Dracula. I mean, both of them have their share of good qualities, but I don't know. I think I'm kind of leaning towards Dracula. Now, Christopher Lee played Dracula in all of the Dracula movies except for Brides of Dracula and Count Dracula and his 7 vampire brides. Christopher Lee, if you don't know who he is, he was Count Dooku in the Star Wars movies. He was in The Man with the Golden Gun. He was in the movie Hugo as the librarian. He was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But he plays Dracula, and this was the final Hammer Dracula movie. Now, I have never seen this one before, and besides this one, I hadn't seen Scars of Dracula or Dracula Prince of Darkness or Dracula 1972. There's still a few that I haven't seen. And this movie, like, I heard all over IMDb that some people said this was the best sequel out of all of them. Some people said this movie was good. I could not understand why people thought this movie was good. I mean, really for me, the movie didn't get good until an hour and 10-15 minutes in, and the movie's like an hour and 27 minutes long. Now, if you're a Hammer horror fan, this is definitely the easiest one to find because it's in the public domain, so it's on a lot of cheap horror DVD box sets. And it has Peter Cushing as Van Helsing's grandson, although Peter Cushing played Van Helsing in the original Hammer Dracula. But this movie is about how Dracula wants to die, and he wants to get his revenge on the people, and quite honestly, I don't know why he wants to get his revenge. Maybe it's because Van Helsing kicked his ass in 6 other movies, I don't know. But he wants to do this by getting 4 followers, these like doctors, and he wants them to create a bubonic plague so he can release it when he dies. And we later find out that he wants these 4 people to get infected with the plague so he can infect the other people. And Van Helsing gets into the picture, and he ends up tracking down Dracula, and he ends up destroying him. Now, Dracula is not first seen until an hour into this movie, and he's seen twice in like an hour between. It's like an hour and 7 minutes in. He's seen twice. And then he's not seen again literally until like an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. I mean, it is really, really pathetic. Christopher Lee has very little screen time in this movie, although in the later Dracula sequels he doesn't have a lot of screen time. And I think they did that mainly because Christopher Lee, for one, did not like playing Dracula because he thought he was being typecast. Second thing is, usually what they would do is they would write a story and then they would somehow incorporate Dracula into the movie. And quite honestly, I think this movie could have been made without Dracula, quite honestly. But I think because of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, it's slightly better. I honestly think this movie was made because Hammer knew that their Dracula movie, in my opinion, I think they were slowly getting worse and worse, and they needed to end it, so they made this movie. Now, all of the Hammer Dracula movies have a resurrection scene of Dracula, except for the first one, and they have Dracula's death. This movie does not have a resurrection scene, so they do not explain why Dracula is back after Dracula AD 1972. And his death scene is the most anticlimactic of the whole series. And I'm just going to give it away. What happens is Van Helsing lures him into a hawthorn bush, and Dracula just starts getting cuts all over and everything, and then Van Helsing stakes him, and Dracula's dead. Now, in the first movie, he got burned alive by the sun, and he got disintegrated. In one of them, he got staked, or he got impaled multiple times by a cross, and by another stake, and I think there was one where he drowns in water, and I think there was another one where they set him on fire. I mean, out of all those things, the one thing that works is a thorn bush. I guess fire and the sun apparently don't work, but a thorn bush does. But that's something that kind of pissed me off. Now, if I look at the whole movie, I did not really like it that much. It was kind of boring. It was very weird, like at the very beginning. And Christopher Lee, it's kind of like a Iron Lady situation. Everybody loved Meryl Streep but hated the movie. Well, I liked Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, but I hated the movie. I just did not like it. So as of right now, this is my least favorite Dracula movie. I do not think it's the best sequel. I think the best sequel is probably Taste the Blood of Dracula. That one was really good. But if you're interested in seeing this, I just watched it on YouTube. And if you type in Taste the Blood of, or Satanic Rites of Dracula, it'll pop up and you can watch it. And it's also on Hulu Plus, and I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. And again, it's on cheap horror DVD box sets if you really want to buy it. But Hammer actually just re-released like a 3-movie set from some of their old horror movies. Hammer is very notorious for not releasing newer editions of these movies in America, but they do in Britain. Finally, they're doing that, and the collection has Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Frankenstein, Created Woman, and Dracula and His 7 Vampire Brides. And those movies have been released on DVD, but they're out of print, and you're lucky to get a copy under $60-$70. So on Amazon, that collection is going for $7, and that is literally stealing. Literally, like, if you were to buy those 3 movies separately before that collection came out, I guarantee you would probably be spending at least $100. And now you can get it on Amazon for $7. That is really pathetic. They should charge a bit higher price for that. I've heard it's at Target, and I'm going to check on Friday. Hopefully it's there because I want to get it. But this is my review for the Satanic Rites of Dracula. And again, not a good Dracula. I recommend watching Horror of Dracula or Taste the Blood of Dracula or Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. But not this one. So that's my review, and thanks for watching.